Can you please take care of my mom? I was shocked as I looked down at my husband. He was begging me without even looking away. What do you mean? I stammered, completely at a loss for words. Meanwhile, Candace, unaware of my turmoil, was happily playing Pictionary in the garden with our kids. What should I do now? I felt like I was on the brink of despair. My name is Jessie, and I'm a 42-year-old stay-at-home mom. My husband, Cole, is 3 years older than me and works tirelessly as a teacher. Even on weekends, he's busy with club activities and is rarely home. Yet on his days off, he goes out of his way to spend time with us, and we love him dearly. We have 2 kids, our daughter Dina, who is 10 years old and starting to become rebellious, and our son Kenton, who is 5 and full of energy, always running around the local woods. For the past 2 years, we've been living with Cole's mom, Candace, in our in-laws' house. Around 6 p.m., while Candace and I were preparing dinner, she called out to the kids, "Dina, Alicia, dinner's ready." Our kids responded, though called by the wrong names. She also called me Laura, and I responded with a polite, "Okay, thank you, Candace," even though she doesn't recognize any of us properly. We all gathered around the dinner table, and Candace looked content as she finished her meal. "I need to boil some water," she said. "Don't worry, I've got it," I reassured her. "Oh really, how thoughtful of you," she replied. Then she repeated, "I need to boil some water." "Don't worry, I've already taken care of it," I said again. "Oh really, you're so attentive," she responded, satisfied. This repetitive exchange had become normal for us, and the kids didn't even blink. 2 years ago, Candace had a nasty fall, breaking her leg. After a long hospital stay, she became mostly immobile and more forgetful. Each time we visited her in the hospital, her conversations became more disjointed. During this time, my husband Cole made a passionate plea. "I want to take mom in." It threw us into a panic. We agonized over the decision but ultimately couldn't abandon gentle Candace. The kids loved her too, so we decided to take her in. At first, the children were confused, but they saw how happy it made Candace when they responded to her, and they accepted the new living arrangement. We all lovingly referred to her as Candy and lived peacefully together. Then came an unwelcome intruder into her peaceful life, Lillian, Cole's older sister. "How could you let mom do household chores, Jessie? Aren't you ashamed?" Lillian frowned upon seeing Candace sweeping the floor, but doing chores keeps her energetic. Even the doctor recommended it. I protested. "Stop making excuses," Lillian snapped. "You're a stay-at-home mom living off Cole's income and mom's pension. You're like a hyena. Is she really suffering from dementia, or did you just say that so you could leech off her?" Lillian hardly visited but acted as if she knew everything. "Mom, I bought your favorite cake. Let's eat it together," she said sweetly. "Thank you, Jill," Candace responded, happy to see her daughter, but she'd probably forget about Lillian by tonight. I was truly fed up with Lillian, who acted all high and mighty just because she brought some snacks. Cole was the youngest of 3 siblings. His older sister, Lillian, was 5 years older, and his older brother, Jack, was 2 years older. Despite this, we were the ones to take in Candace. Jack often moved for work, and Lillian lived far away. Yet they both had the attitude that our family, who lived nearby, should naturally be the ones to take care of her. This always irked me. Cole, on the other hand, was genuinely grateful for how I devoted myself to caregiving. On his occasional day off, he'd take turns with me attending to Candace. Though she occasionally made mistakes or wandered a bit, she was generally calm. Whenever she gave a heartfelt smile and said, "Thank you," it made everything worthwhile. My frustration grew when I thought about how Lillian and Jack would just criticize without actually helping. Then, everything changed. Cole passed away. He collapsed at work, and by the time we rushed to the hospital, it was already too late. I was so shocked I couldn't even cry. For the next month, between the funeral and taking care of the kids, life was a blur. Seeing my children muster the courage to go back to school, I started thinking it was time to figure out our future. Cole had left us some money, but it wasn't enough to live on indefinitely. More importantly, we were living in Cole's family home, taking care of his mother, Candace. Her dementia was getting worse. Sometimes she understood that her son Cole was gone, but other times she forgot. Even so, she felt his loss deeply and often cried like a child. Feeling it was wrong to leave Candace alone, we lived by draining our savings since I couldn't work. 3 months after Cole's death, Lillian and Jack showed up out of the blue. "How long do you plan on freeloading here?" Lillian demanded, exhausted from caregiving and child rearing. I was too stunned to reply. Jack looked down at me arrogantly and began to lecture. Don't you feel ashamed living off our mother's modest pension? I only use Candace's pension for living expenses, I responded. Jack snorted dismissively, though he hadn't contributed a single cent to his own brother's funeral. He scanned the room as if appraising it, then began directing me. You're practically a stranger now. Move out. I'll live here with Mom. What? You're married and live far away. Didn't Mom refuse that arrangement? I protested. Oh, no worries. My idiot husband cheated on me, so I thought I'd come back and take care of Mom. My kids are grown up anyway, Lillian said. How selfish can she be? If Lillian's husband really cheated on her, I'd sympathize, but it seemed too convenient for her to kick us out without even thanking us for taking care of her. Ignoring my disbelief, Lillian rushed over to Candace, who was sunbathing on the terrace. Mom would prefer to live with her real daughter over a daughter-in-law who's like a hyena, right? Candace, lost in the sunlight, gave a vague reply, but Lillian took it as agreement. Just pack up and leave. Will you? Are you serious? I asked, pale with shock. Jack smirked. Losing your cash cow, huh? Maybe if you had been a good provider, my brother would have lived longer. Poor guy. Using my late husband's death to taunt me was the worst thing Jack could do, but I was too worn out to fight back. That night, as the kids were asleep, I pondered. Honestly, leaving this home might make my life easier. I could go back to work if I didn't have to care for Candace. But should I leave just because Lillian and Jack told me to? Wouldn't that be abandoning Candace? Would my late husband Cole be disappointed? These thoughts swirled in my head when I suddenly realized Candace was standing next to me. Jessie, she said. Candace, what's up? Do you need to go to the bathroom? I asked, surprised to be called Jesset after such a long time. But Candace stopped me and took my hand. Jessie, leave this home, she said. What? I was puzzled by her sudden proposal. Was she choosing Lillian over me because they shared the same blood? As if reading my thoughts, Candace spoke gently. You're still young. Don't waste your time on an old person like me. Live with Kenton and Dina. Make life easier for them. But what about you, Candace? I'll be fine as long as you all are happy, Candace smiled. A lump formed in my throat, and for the first time since Cole passed away, I cried. Candace gently caressed my hand. Thank you for everything. I'm so grateful for your gentle touch. It's given me so much happiness. That's why I chose to live with her, because she is so warm-hearted. I cried like a child, embraced by Candace's warm chest. The next morning, Candace greeted me. Good morning, Laura. She probably didn't remember last night, but I had made up my mind. I would leave this house to protect my children and honor Candace's feelings. I soon found an apartment in the same school district and moved with my kids. Though I was concerned about Candace, I decided to leave her in Lillian's care for now. I'd even found a job opening at my previous workplace. My kids are still adjusting, but I feel we're moving forward bit by bit. However, 2 months after leaving my in-laws' house, I got an unbelievable call from Lillian. Taking care of Mom is tougher than I thought. Come help me, she demanded. What? I was taken aback. Mom keeps cooking with rotten veggies and constantly forgets to do the laundry. Can you please keep an eye on her during the day? Lillian pleaded. What are you talking about? You accused me of being horrible for having Candace do household chores, but now you're doing the same. Considering Candace's cognitive decline, she can't manage all the household tasks by herself. Did you take her in just to have an extra set of hands around the house? I shot back. Why don't you help her with chores yourself, Lillian? I'm busy, she retorted. Busy? You don't have a job, and your kids have moved out. I have work. I can't take time off to care for someone else. Isn't it cruel to call your mother-in-law someone else? You were the one who said I was a stranger, remember? I reminded her. Lillian hesitated, so I decided to hit where it hurt. If you can't manage without asking a total stranger for help, you must be pretty incompetent, Lillian. If you want a stranger's help, prepare a payment, and I'll consider it. You're so greedy. I can't believe my brother married you. I'll never ask for your help again. She spat and hung up angrily. I felt relieved that I finally stood up to her. While I was concerned about Candace, helping now would just make me a pawn in Lillian's games. I hoped she would have some pride and treat Candace well. In the meantime, I started making preparations. 3 months later, Lillian called me to a family restaurant. Her hair was a mess, her face pale, and she had a vacant look in her eyes. You didn't tell me, she began. Tell you what? You didn't tell me taking care of Mom would be this hard. Why didn't you tell me? You didn't ask, I replied. Lillian groaned and went silent. Candace is calm, but she wanders and has accidents. Taking care of her alone must be draining. If it weren't for Cole and the kids, I couldn't have managed either. Lillian dug into her bag, pulled out a thick envelope, and threw it at me. Here, take this and help me. What? You'll do it for money, won't you? She asked, stunned by her audacity. I checked the envelope. It looked like about $500 in bills. It must have been hard for her to part with that money, but she clearly didn't understand the weight of asking for help. Can we consider this an advance payment? I asked. If you need me 5 to 6 days a week, that would roughly amount to $35,000 a year. If I move in, it'll cost more. What do you think? Lillian's mouth dropped open in shock. She then screamed, her face flushed red. Are you kidding me? How can you ask for so much money when you see someone struggling? Are you heartless? A devil? I don't mind being called a devil. Asking for help has its costs. I have my own kids to take care of. I don't have the luxury of volunteering. You get it now. I'm not some stay-at-home mom leeching off my own mom and Cole. If you're willing to pay $35,000, I'll work, but you might find it cheaper to place her in a facility. That's not fair to Mom. Oh please, what's so unfair? I can't think of a situation worse than being treated like an intruder. It's safer with professionals than with an amateur like you. So it's about appearances and money, isn't it? Didn't you get alimony from your husband for his affair? That's... Wait, you didn't. Are you a saint, Lillian? Or maybe you're the one who cheated? Lillian's shoulders jumped, confirming my suspicion. She had probably been avoiding any talk of a divorce or alimony from her husband, claiming she had to care for her mother. So, the reliable one is Jack, your brother. Why not ask him for help or money? Your own flesh and blood should be far more reliable than an outsider like me, right? I continued. Lillian gritted her teeth. Good old loudmouth Jack probably used his job relocations as an excuse to avoid lending a hand. Discuss what's best for Mom like the close siblings you are, I said, quickly paying the bill and leaving to avoid causing a scene. After holding out for a while, Lillian reached her limit. She took Candace and forcefully moved into Jack's home. Jack's wife and kids, disgusted by the arguments over Candace's care between Lillian and Jack, feared they might get burdened with it too, and left the house. That shows how poorly Jack has been treating his family. Abandoned by his family and at a loss, Jack eventually told Lillian and Candace to leave the house. He said he'd pay for Candace's stay at an assisted living facility. About a year ago, Lillian, once full-bodied, had become incredibly thin. She told me, I'd decided to put Mom in a facility. I'd been researching for 6 months and immediately suggested the perfect nursing home for Candace. Lillian, like a shell of her former self, was talking incoherently, but I took it as consent and started the admission process. Finally, Candace found her new home, and I could visit her too. Now, there's no need to worry about both of us collapsing, nor will we be berated by Lillian and Jack. I can talk to Candace freely and peacefully. This is the best way I can give back while raising my own children. Candace gently patted my hand, making me tear up, just like she used to. Something sad happened, huh? Don't worry, I'll protect you, Laura, she said, not calling me by my name, but her hand and voice were still warm. Thank you, Candy. I'll visit you a lot from now on. When I smiled, Candace also smiled joyfully. Since then, Candace has been peacefully living in the facility I chose for her. I heard Candace's family were fishermen, so I selected a quiet facility with a sea view. It's reassuring to see her enjoying the peaceful life. Just as my preliminary research suggested, Candace is gentle and charming, so it seems she's popular with both staff and the residents. Whenever I visit, she's surrounded by people and looks happy. Meanwhile, Jack seems to be in constant divorce mediation, unable to win back his family's hearts. Though free from caring for Candace, Lillian's income is zero as Candace's pension is used for her facility fees. With no other option, she's working part-time, scolded by a boss 20 years her junior. She's also dodging talks of divorce and will likely face mediation soon. Lillian does visit Candace but avoids meeting me as is awkward for her. I feel like my goal of ensuring peace for both Candace and our families has been achieved. Lillian can go live her own life. Laura, you should get married soon too, Candace murmured as we walked by the beach. I wondered how old she thought I was as I replied, if I find the right person. You'll find a man with a gentle mother-in-law like you because you're beautiful and kind. Candace assured me. That would be nice, I said, gently holding Candace's hand. I'd love to marry a man with a gentle mother-in-law like you, Candy. The comforting sound of the waves washing up on the sandy shore resonated in our hearts on that warm spring day by the ocean.